I have no words for what we just witnessed. That was insane, David. That was epic.
I tell you what, this is up there with the top 10 most incredible games this year. We've got Alireza Firouzja playing with black here, and he just needs to draw to advance from the big fat losers final into the final with MVL. But his opponent is Jan Nepomniachtchi. He's in tremendous shape for this year's Crunchlabs tournament. Look at those abs. He's done about a million crunches in preparation, and he brings the fire on the board in this game, starting with pawn d4. It's online, rapid play chess. Keep your eye on the clock times on the left. So Alireza responds with d5. Nepo plays the most explosive move, c4, offering that pawn, but Alireza says no thank you Nepo, my tummy is full, plays the declined. Now we get knight c3, and the c pawn of Alireza's is pushed on the board and grabbed the soothing cream because a rash has descended across the board. A Tarash. You don't often see this at the top level these days. Nepo takes immediately on d5, stopping the spread before it gets too bad. Alireza now recaptures with the pawn, and we see all four horsemen of the apocalypse gallop into the game, only interrupted by Nepo building the banana hammock. Here we go, both players doing a Winnie and a Nay, as the top professionals do when they develop those horses, and Nepo calmly fianchettos the bishop. We see takes on d4, knight recaptures, and what do we notice? Alireza's got the isolated queen's pawn, or IQP. Only a wuss fears to play with it though, because after bishop c5 we see the big piece play that black gets in exchange for that pawn weakness. Open files for the rooks. So the knight drops back, hits that sniper, it tucks back into b6 here, and now everyone and his dog is getting that king to safety. Not yet taking the pawn, but what does Nepo do? He dives right in with knight takes on d5. A very risky line, because after bishop e6, black develops this initiative. Of course you got to know what you're doing, but not many people play like this. Now what's the follow-up? Well, Nepo takes here. He's now also won the bishop pair as well as a pawn. Surely this is just good for white, even though apparently it's dangerous. Well, Alireza doesn't take the knight there. He swaps the ladies off the board. King recaptures. Can't be a modern movie. The female leads are gone already. And after A recaptures here, there's already a tactical threat to take the knight on b3, pick up the rook on a1. So king c2 covers that knight. Good move. Knight b4 check played. And look at this. Nepo just calmly tucks the king back on b1. There's three in the bed there. The little one says, roll over, something's got to give. Alireza now castles the king, and now this is the sign of a man who's gone deep with stock barnacle. He plays the move of knight d4. Exceptional preparation from Nepo. He's in the Mariana Trench right now, and Alireza just burning through oodles of time. Spends about 2 minutes or so here. He finally takes the pawn with check. Nepo recaptures, giving an exchange. Forced, of course, you were otherwise checkmated. And after Alireza captures with the knight, Nepo just calmly carries on with bishop to d2. He's trapped the knight on a2 here, and that's his compensation for giving the exchange. Incredible idea. Alireza now spends another minute or so on rook f to d8. Pawn e3 played to cover the pony. Knight d5, 2 minutes spent on that move. Rook d1, best move. And now these are the top moves of the Silicon Overlord. But none of them played. Instead we see the move of knight d to b4. These knights supporting one another, but is not ideal. Nepo crashes through here, hits the rook, it activates into the game. This is Alireza's point. Now he gets to bring the cannons to the centre, pressure, 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 but his time is burning down. It's like 10 minutes to 30 seconds. We get bishop e2, coming onto the more pertinent diagonal, h6 played, followed by h4. Sorry, I've got the cat going across me right now. She's just got back from a global chess committee meeting. She was joining tonight. They were debating some new en passant rules. And now we see the move of rook c5. Alireza just playing some nice shuffly chess. Rook a8 now covers that knight on a2, prepares to move the other one, and so bishop f3. hits the rook, it slides to a7. Now we see knight b3 hitting the rook, it retreats, and bishop e1, opening the eyes of the rook. Nepo playing calmly, but where's the breakthrough? How do you win this trapped knight, or somehow make a breakthrough on the king side here with these pawns? Knight c2 now played, that one coming out the box there. The bishop comes back to d2, and Alireza offering a repeat of moves. Nepo can't take it, so he goes bishop e4, and Alireza is now under 10 seconds. This is incredible. He only gets 2 seconds increment back each move. What does he do here? He picks up his rook, and he's like, do you even lift, bro? Brings it to the fourth, hits that bishop, knight d4, centralizing, intercepting the attack. The rook comes back to c8, now h5, rook d8 played, and one of the best ways to go is with advancing that f pawn. But Nepo goes for a separate plan here of pawn to b3. His idea is king b2, rook a1, maybe bishop b1 in certain lines, pick up this trapped knight, but it's not precise. Rook c8 is actually best here, looking for knight c3. Won't click down the line. Alireza goes rook e8, hitting the bishop. It's covered with f3, and now you can come back. Rook c8, something like that. But this is what we love about Alireza Firouzja. He's a tactical pirate, plays the most swashbuckling. Rook takes on e4, sacrificing the exchange back, shattering Nepo's pawns, and now he lands knight d3. That's an octopus that Stoctopus is proud of, and Nepo in response now plays a really great move. Very, very tricky. Pawn e5. Imagine facing that with seconds on the clock. Do you take it? Don't you? How do you assess this stuff? Alireza does so correctly, doesn't take the pawn. If he goes for it, the problem is this sneaky move, bishop e1, and you keep this knight trapped in the box that's on a2, and you stop this one from returning to d3 or c4. So there's now these lines where this knight drops off the board. Think king b2, rook a1. Yes, black can win some pawns, but it shouldn't be enough compensation. Okay, not played. The pawn wasn't touched. We saw knight f2 instead. It's given the miss, but I don't understand it. It's one of the top engine moves. Now the rook's hit, sliding to g1, very logical, but it induces a blunder from Nepo. He goes rook e1, taking away the bishop's retreat square here, and Alireza pounces by bouncing right back with e4, hits the bishop, and it can't be saved. King c2 therefore played to cover it. However, more great chess. Now we see a check, drives the king to d3, and we don't see the bishop taken off the board. It's not actually best. Instead, the knight checks from here, and you've completely now driven the king to e2 and away from the knight on a2. Therefore, after takes on g4, the one on a2 is no longer dropping off the board. You don't have the same trapping ideas. Incredible play by Alireza on seconds. Nepo goes e6, trying to get to that king. Alireza takes. Now we see the knight capturing, hitting the rook, but knight c3 check, and the knight has escaped the trap. Checks the king. This is not good for Nepo. He goes king f3, hits that knight, it drops back to e5 with check, and don't go king f4. You're walking into knight d3 check, also hits the rook. So king g3 played, rook e7 hits this one. We see a liquidation of minor pieces, and after rook d1 coming onto the open file, Alireza now doing some defensive measures, still playing on that 2 seconds. Nepo slightly catching him up on the clock, time burning down. We see king f4 invading, and g5 gives the check. Of course, Nepo takes en passant. Very natural, grandmasterly move. Alireza recaptures, pawn e4 gets that one marching, king f8, rook d7, king e8, the rook sliding here, and what does Alireza do? Get some counterplay of his own. Past pawns need to be pushed. We see e5 on the board. King f5's coming. e6, very dangerous. You can play an immediate knight h6, but Alireza checks. One of his worst moves in this time pressure because it forces the king in. Now he checks, but the king marches to e6. This is absolutely ominous. Checkmate in one, threatened. So the rook drops back, kicks away the king here, and now we get the knight coming into f5. And Nepo here should push this e-pawn, open up the scope of his bishop, very nasty threats. You have to now go knight e7 as the best defensive move. But Nepo missed to play this. He plays the move of bishop b4, given the huge question mark because it's a huge mistake. Alireza can now play knight d4 check. The king's running out of squares. Doesn't matter if you go to d4 or e4, the bishop's in trouble. If you come here, you march into this. So instead we see the move of king e4, but now check. What a move by Alireza. Allows the knight to drop, picks up the bishop, and look what we've got. Rook on rook, 2 on 2. This is child's play for grandmasters of this level. Alireza hitting this pawn, defended. This is how the game proceeded here. Both players start marching some past pawns, but look at this. The king gets active. Both pawns push in. Eventually the rook's got to give themselves up, or you just start getting this perpetual check. This is what we saw. This is how the game ended, as a draw.
I have no words for what we just witnessed. That was insane, David. That was epic.
Exceptional from Alireza Firouzja, playing about 50 moves on just less than 10 seconds, 2 seconds increment. What a player. Please excuse my voice, late here, quite tired. If you enjoyed, smash that subscribe, and I hope to see you tomorrow for the final of this exceptional tournament. Cheers.